Jobber Nation, welcome to an exclusive Sunday fun day with the Jobbertears podcast. As always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Wilkins and Mrblacc, and we have a very, very special guest with us in the middle. What time is it where you are?
It's 12:35 here. So I'm an
Oh,
hour behind you guys. Yeah, not horrible.
okay, that's not bad. I don't know why I thought it was like 8 hours. So I was sitting here like, oh, it's like night for her. We
No.
are intruding, but no, an hour behind is not bad. That's okay.
Yes.
But before we do get started and let our guest introduce herself to the viewers and listeners, once again, we'll be back at Legends May 8th for WrestleMania Backlash. So make sure to RSVP for that. And then once again, make sure to always like, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend about 80 and all episodes that we do post. So let's not waste any more time. Let our lovely and fabulous guest tell us who she is.
My name is Briana Brandy, baby, formerly known as B-Fab of Hit Row. What's up? Thanks for having me, guys.
Thank you for joining us. Like this is we've been excited. You know, even from when we met you out in Dallas, we were like, all right,
Yeah.
cool, we gonna do this. Cause you know, once again, a woman of color in this business, we want to hear your experience. We want to be able to give you that platform and to be able to talk about your journey. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like I always say on Instagram that you live in Colombia, and I think that is like
Yes.
the dopest thing ever. So tell us a little bit about your background. Where did your love of wrestling come from?
So I'm originally from Canton, Ohio. So yeah, me being in Columbia.
Ohio.
Yeah.
Girl, that is what?
That's where Cam used
Yeah.
to be at. Cameron used to be at. Push them mind.
Yeah.
Oh my
So yeah, I'm originally from there, so I don't even know. Like me being in Colombia is like crazy. If you would have told me this back in the day when I was living in Canton, I would have been like, me, Colombia, like how, when? So just that alone by itself is crazy. But I watched wrestling growing up. I definitely like Attitude Era, probably like most people when they first started watching it. So I'm a huge Rock fan. I'm a huge China fan. So those two people really like were the ones who drew me into wrestling and like made me really love it actually.
So what was your reaction when you saw China enter the Royal Rumble?
Dude, dude, that was insane for me because honestly, like I knew it was gonna happen though, because she was always the one who was, with the boys all the time. So that's what really resonated with me with her is the fact that I was a tomboy growing up and I always, chased behind my uncles and stuff. So, but when I really saw it, I was like, whoa, this is crazy. Like this is really happening. So it was an insane moment.
That's amazing. That sounds absolutely. But when did you decide to be like, yo, I'm gonna make this leap into wrestling and get into the ring? What's the
Well, like
story behind that?
wrestling really found me. Like I tell people all the time, like I didn't know that I wanted to be a wrestler because like, liking China and stuff, um, her being like I rolled with my uncles, but I wasn't like fighting with my uncles. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it was a totally different thing. So to see her like really fighting with the boys, I was like, man, like she's crazy. Like I love it, but she's crazy. So I never really saw myself as being able to become a wrestler because after that, I started playing sports and stuff. So I stopped watching for a while. But wrestling kind of found me. I was running on the treadmill at the gym one day, and some guy who was like doing recruiting a little bit for WWE at the time was like, "Hey, you ever thought about being a wrestler? Like, I think you have the look, you have like the style, whatever. Like, I think you'd be great for it." And it never crossed my mind at all because I was doing music at the time too. So me being a wrestler, I was like, wrestling, like I hadn't watched that, I didn't really know what was going on. So like, well, let me check it out. And then I checked it out and saw like Naomi and all the girls who look more like me. And I was like, oh, okay, like this is something I really could do. Like, and I could gel like my music into my character and be the first person to do that because they only had like John Cena who was doing that kind of gimmick. And I was like, wow, like I'd be the first of my kind. Like I was super excited once I dove back into it and found like what was going on now, with wrestling. So that definitely once that sparked in me, I was like, all right, I could do this.
She said that's all the black girls there. I was like,
Yeah, I saw Naomi. I was like, oh, that's me.
But you spoke about your music. You were doing music before. The streets is saying that you were out here. You were,
Oh yeah.
you were doing things with Jadakiss. Is this true? This tell me no Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
A couple like established like music people. Can you talk about the music career before you got into wrestling a little bit?
So music before, I was doing shows all throughout Cali. I went on tour with Juicy J through Texas with like Paul Wall and Little
Ooh.
John was on the tour. Yeah,
Did you
like
get grills? Did they get you like a
no,
Yeah,
no, I did not get grills. I wish I would have though, man. Those are crazy, like, but it was a lot of fun. But I did music all throughout Cali. That was mainly where I did most of my music at before I did some of the tours and stuff. Because I was living in Arizona at the time, so I would drive over to Cali, do all my shows, and then drive back because there was no way I was living in Cali at all. So, but yeah, like so I did all shows like you said, Soldier Boy, opened up for a lot of people over in Cali. So I did a lot of
Really?
music there, yeah. And I did some stuff back when I was living in Ohio as well. That is actually what drove me to move to Arizona so that I can do most of my music in Cali.
Did you mess with Bone Thugs? Isn't Bone Thugs from Ohio?
Yeah, they are, but no, I didn't get to meet them. No, I wish.
Oh.
I really wish.
I mean,
I,
we're talking about some established people. So
established
yeah,
people.
Bone Thugs
yeah.
was on there.
Yeah, like Yin Yang Twins, I opened up for them. The moment I opened up for Yin Yang Twins, I was like, oh my gosh, like I used to listen to them like so much.
I
So I was
made
like,
it.
what the heck? Like this is crazy. I'm opening for them. Them dudes are wild. They're wild.
Any stories that you can kind of share with us? Because I'm a huge Juicy J fan. I fucks with Juicy J across the board. Any stories about it? Because I hear great things about it. But how was your experience, working with him?
Well, they were super chill. Like they were, of course, drinking. Like they just do their things. Like you know how Juicy J is. Like he drinks, he wilds out. But for the most part, like they were cool, really respectful. Like everybody that I met, that's what I really liked was that you would think that these dudes are like be wild and crazy and on you or whatever, but everybody is super chill, man. Like when they know that you're professional, like they carry themselves professionally, even if they're faded.
So you were kind of prepared for entertainment then, to go into WWE.
I'm sorry.
I think you were prepared for the entertainment business already because WWE is basically that in some form or another.
Exactly. That's why when I was brought to my attention that this could be an opportunity for me, I was like the whole my brain just blew up. I was like, oh my gosh, this would be perfect. Like I could really bring, my hip hop element to my character, be the first woman to do it. Like I was already so comfortable on the mic and being in front of people and a camera and all of that was nothing. All I had to do was learn the craft. And I was like, oh, I got this.
So how was
any
go ahead,
sorry, any lessons that you learned being on the road with rappers that you applied to when you went to the E? Like, are there any things that you were like, okay, I learned this before, so now I know how to handle this? Were there any type of instances where kind of like things happened before that you saw now you was like, okay, I can handle this differently?
Definitely would be just the similarity between the two would be you stay in your own lane. You know what I'm saying? Like in music, you don't, I don't know how to put this. Like you don't, if it's not your business, you don't go into it. You know what I'm saying? You kind of stay in your own lane. You do what you do, like while you're there. You take care of your business of why you're there, and everything else you just let fall to the wayside. So it was kind of the same thing with wrestling. Like you go in, you're there for your job and why you're there. You stay out of the drama, you stay out of the other stuff that people might try to draw you into, and you just do what your purpose is of why you're there. You take care of you. So that definitely helped me for sure.
Okay, so how was your time during basketball and swimming and back in high school? How was your time during doing that?
So I originally only joined the swim team the year that I did it was because I tore my ACL in basketball. My ACL, MCL, tore it all. So I was doing rehab over the summer and, basketball was coming up and I was almost there, but I wasn't fully there to like be explosive yet on the court. And the guy who was doing my rehab for me for my knee was like, hey, one thing you could do is you could do, cycling, you could do swimming or whatever. So I was like, oh, like I should join the swim team. I just a random thought. I was like, I should join the swim team so I'm not sitting on my butt during basketball season because they're the same time during the year. So yeah, I ended up just joining the swim team. I was really good at it. And they actually wanted to keep me on the swim team. And my basketball coach came down to my swim coach and was like, she's not staying. I just want you to know that.
You were just nice? You were there?
I was good. They were like, she's not staying. She's just here for rehab. Because I told my coach what I was going to do. I was like, hey, I'm just going to take this, season off. I'm going to, swim instead. And he understood why I wanted to do it. He thought it was a good idea to get my recovery done quicker. But yeah, he went and talked to my swim coach and was like, she's not staying. She's just here for pretty much rehab.
With such a in crazy athletic back, you do a little kickboxing. I've seen that. You got basketball, you got swimming, you do CrossFit as well.
Yeah.
When you did that tryout, I've heard horror stories about the WWE tryout.
The tryout.
I heard it's wild hard. Yeah. How was it for you? What was the story behind you doing that tryout?
I'm gonna be honest with you. When I was training for my tryout, I was living in the Dominican Republic at the time.
Oh, you everywhere.
And
right, your passport is
you work with you now.
Okay, I feel like I gotta catch up.
Yo, hey, get y'all passports. Let's move. No, but the Dominican Republic is very hot. And the gym that I was training in had two sides. It had a side where it was full AC blowing normal. And then it had a side that was no AC. And it had all the cardio equipment over there. When I was training, I met a guy there also who had 7 different black belts and all the, he trained people in other countries. He did security for presidents in other countries. So I randomly met him there too. And he started training me one-on-one. So I was training with him probably 4 times a week as well. So I was training with him 4 times a week. We were doing from whatever he knew, he just taught me everything he knew, from knife takeaways to jujitsu to judo, whatever he wanted to train that day, we just trained. And it was crazy because he spoke Italian, Spanish, and his English was horrible. So it was just us just in there moving, going off movement, which was awesome. But anyways, that really prepared me for it. So I did all of my training for my tryout, in that place, and it was the top floor of this building, and this building was 18 floors. So I'm also in high altitude. I just had the perfect mix for this tryout. So when I went to my tryout, I was ready. I was nothing short of ready. The day before, I remember right now, I was on the bike and it was my last, round of cardio, my last 30 minutes before the next day I was leaving for my tryout. And I was on that bike and I was like, nobody is better than me. I'm ready. There's going to be nobody at this tryout who's going to be better than me. You might come in there, you might have a better outfit than me. You might whatever, you know what I'm saying? But you're not going to be prepared cardio and anything physically better than me. So when I went there, the coaches, they're not going to be hot. They got the AC blowing. It's comfortable. I didn't train in this AC or none of that this whole time. I trained for I think a year for the tryout too. So
wow,
it took me 2 years to get that job. People don't know, I didn't get recruited. I didn't none of that. It was all me, So when I went to that trial, I was just in straight up beast mode. That song I had playing in my head was "You Only Get One Shot, Do Not Miss Your Chance to Blow" by Eminem. I just had that rocking in my head, and I was in there in beast mode, and I killed it. There was no girl in my trial that was better than me. You might have been stronger than me in some stuff, but overall, there was nobody that was better than me, hands down.
Damn.
For sure. I made it that way, for sure. So when I left, I was I'm getting on. I was I'm definitely, they're going to hire me. They had already pulled me aside, whatever, hey, if we hire you, you're going to have to move from the Dominican Republic and have to, train in Florida and stuff. I was no, that's the point. I know I'm cool with that. That was the whole thing. I'm ready. So yeah. And then after that tryout, because the timing or whatever, it took them still another, I trained for a year and then it took them another year or so to even hire me after that. So I still had to keep training and everything. Yeah,
another year?
Another year. It was just timing. I don't know what it was, but it was just the timing or whatever. They were waiting for spots or whatever for me. So it still took me another year. They just hired Bianca on. She just got hired on. So I feel they had felt they already had someone that maybe in my lane or whatever. So they were waiting. I don't know. But yeah, it took me a whole another year to even get on after that.
They basically said we got one black girl.
They met the quota.
We can't have two of
They
y'all.
met the
So one
quota.
at a
They
time.
said we got the most athletic girl right now, so we got to wait. Even though we know there's one in the pocket, because now that makes sense. Because when Bianca was in NXT and she had her run, and then when they called her up, it kind of was like that transition, and then you guys kind of popped up. So that actually makes sense now. Hearing it from your
Wow.
side, like watching it as a fan, you're like, okay, one black girl went up. Now another black girl came in, which is great, but it was
Wow.
just like, why they couldn't come at the same time?
Exactly.
It's
But
just weird how all these things, like, sometimes they just line up like that. It's just weird how it,
Yeah.
and even if that's not what their thing is, it still, it comes across like some of these things. You know what I'm saying? So it's just weird. But
with
yeah,
that
like,
being said, did you ever hear comparisons to Bianca? Because Bianca
Mm.
kind of went up, and then you come in. Was it ever like, yo, are you the next Bianca, or
Mm-hmm.
you gonna be able to fill in her shoes? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
not really, because when I
good.
came in, like, her name is like, Bianca Belair and then Briana Brandy. Like, I feel like even that name, like, was like, okay, now it kind of rhymes to them. Like, everything was like, you know what I'm saying? Everything was the same. I'm like, oh, great. But when I came in and everybody saw like my vibe and who I was and what I wanted my character to be, there really was never really a comparison after that, because hers is, strength and speed and all that. And mine was just going to be my vibe with my music and me being, this larger than life character. So once I got there, they saw the differences, blatantly,
Mm.
because I was going in a totally different direction. I had
Yeah,
other things, other talents than what she had. So
you were
yeah.
swaggy.
But
You
that's
were,
Yeah,
crazy
it was
because
just
I wouldn't
different.
compare. Like, even like as a
Me
fact, I
either.
would never have compared to, like, it
Of
never
course you wouldn't.
hit me.
you
Of
wouldn't.
course you wouldn't.
My brother wouldn't. I wouldn't. I'm not talking about us.
No, that's fair. I
We
mean,
talk
they're
about these
totally,
people, the palm color people. All right,
but
the
as she
palm
said,
color
they were two
people.
different characters. Like, if Bianca ever got on Raw and started spitting the 16, I would be upset. I'm like, what is this? You know
I
what I
mean,
mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's what I mean by, like,
Yeah.
I would never compare. Like, I don't see that. That's not a flow. Like, so that's why,
No,
like,
I get it. I get what
that's
you're saying, but
weird.
sometimes people make up things in their heads, like make up comparisons just because they're it is what it is. And but let's
oh,
talk about you.
wait. I want to know this. Like, sorry to cut you guys. I want to ask you this. Like, all right, boom. So I want to know this. How was your childhood? Because it seems like low key, you sound like you were trained like an assassin. Like somebody, like your parents got killed. Like, oh, I'm taking D off for a year and heat
Yeah.
condition, no AC. You got trained like
Yeah.
an assassin. And the way that you held that pipe when you hit that nigga on NXT, I was
Oh,
like, yo,
I became a
Oh,
fan.
that was gangster. That was gangster.
Everybody
That
loves
was
that
and
moment.
like, so
Yeah,
when
that
you
was
came
dope.
on screen,
Oh yeah.
okay.
Batter
Felt
up
like I
mode.
was like, yo, son. I was like, yo,
that's
I'm
what I
reliving it,
became.
son.
Yeah.
Like, so
Literally the day I became, because I think we went on the podcast that week, and I was like, you know what? I'm a
it
fan.
clicked. It clicked for us. It clicked for us.
Yeah.
So describe your childhood because it's not like you grew up. Like your life sounds wild so far. So
Yeah.
walk us through your childhood.
I was raised with my mom, I was with my mom and like my younger brother and stuff. So like my mom is, whew, my mom is, wow. She is, I don't even know how to explain. Like my mom is hood. Like she's very real. You know what I'm saying? Like she's to the point. Like you can't come to her with no nonsense. Like you can't put anything past her. Like I wish she would have went to law school because she would have been a tiger. So like for me, being raised with my mom, just in general, she is the one who really made me like have that grit and like she always told us like you can have and be whatever you want, but you might have to put that
Mm.
work in and do it, and don't let anybody tell you that you can't have it because they never did it. So it's just like she really instilled a lot of that into me. So my mom is just, she's really was my rock as far as growing up. And I just have a great support system around me. There's people who just always look at me like there's no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like if you really want something, you can go and have it. And for me, I just push myself. Like I'm a huge person on like I have to be my own motivator because if I don't care about what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, then why would anybody else? So for me, yeah, like, and then Canton, if you know anything about Canton, Ohio, like that place is very, it's very like hood.
Yeah,
It's a
that's where
hood
Cam
place,
went
man.
out to.
Y'all
Yeah.
some
Yeah.
So
prideful people, like Ohio, because like Shane's from
Yeah.
Ohio,
yeah,
and like
LeBron's along LeBron. So
Yeah.
like y'all some like yeah, we from here. Come
Yeah.
fuck with
We
us if you
don't.
want to. Like
Cam
Yeah, we
said he
don't. And
pushed the
it's crazy
birds
because
in
we're all
Ohio.
so chill. Like we all chill. That's the problem.
yeah,
Like people
all
don't
are
get it.
though.
Like we're super chill and laid back till we not. Because when we not, then like you didn't really push us to that point. And I'm like, all right, bro. Like now I'm gonna have to go off on you because now you put me to a point I don't want to be. So I'm gonna show you why you shouldn't want me here.
Bro,
It's kind of
that's
like
where
that.
y'all don't know about Ohio. First of all, little history, people who are watching. Cameron talks about he been in Ohio a couple times
Yeah.
doing wild stuff. Number
Yeah.
two, when I really found out Ohio was wild was when I was watching the Wu-Tang TV show. Because Homeboy went to Ohio because he was pushing them birds. But that's a different time, different conversation. But shout out to Ohio. I got no beef with Ohio. I don't want nothing to do.
I don't want no smoke.
I don't want no
We're
smoke
not
with Ohio.
joking no one. Like joking no one's
Nah,
wild.
Ohio's
Like
chill.
we're
Like
not
no,
them.
nah, we're
Listen,
super
listen.
chill.
No beef here from New York.
Hey, we did the hospitality. You come to Ohio, you're gonna get mad love. You're gonna get
Of
mad
course.
protection too. If you rolling with us too, like we don't let anybody mess with the people that we with either. Like that's another thing. Like once you with me, now you're an extension of me. You should get the same respect that I'm getting.
Yeah, the Midwest is hospitality out the ass,
It
just like
is.
Yeah.
It is.
Chicago. But you know
Chicago's the same, yeah.
about Chicago too. There's some
Yep.
parts that you gotta chill. But
Yeah.
random question, because my brother
Yeah.
mentioned the pipe. You ever beat
Okay.
somebody with a pipe
I
before?
have not.
She's not gonna incriminate
I
herself
have
on
not.
camera. What's wrong with
I have
you?
not beat anybody with the pipe.
Yo, the
But I
spot you
have
get, she's
swung a
just like,
I'm
baseball bat.
sorry.
I have
ah.
swung a baseball bat. You know what I'm saying? It's from
Makes
baseball,
sense.
bro.
Athletic background.
She's athletic. She has
Athletic
a stance.
background.
She
Yes.
knows.
I'm well rounded. I've done it all.
Yeah, yeah. I see. I see.
Well-rounded athlete.
Trying to
I see what you did
incriminate.
there.
What's going
I
on
see what you
here?
did there.
Baseball, baby.
Anyway, when so you get to so now they hire you and you're like,
Boom.
okay, great. This is awesome. I'm moving to Orlando. Great.
Yeah.
What was your reaction when they was like, okay, listen, boom, check it. We're gonna put you with 3 other guys, and you're gonna be the only girl, but everybody's musically in tune. Like, what was your reaction to being placed in a stable? Because like I grew up when I watched wrestling, I was a Four Horsemen fan. So like for me, stables are a big thing. Like they
Yeah.
actually have meaning to them. And the last like well-known stable WWE really did was really Undisputed Era. So you guys coming out with Hit Row, it meant something, especially people that look like us. So
Oh
what
yeah.
was your reaction like when they gave you guys that kind of conversation?
Well, it was actually originally me and AJ and Tahuti first. So the Hitmaker's name that we're using now was the name that we actually had for our group that we created in the PC. So we were already doing promos. Like we had done a bunch of promos on every tag team that was on TV. Like we were already doing stuff together. So
Mm.
the last person that they added was Swerve to the group so that we can be
Oh,
on TV because he was already doing stuff on TV. So we were like, oh, he's like, what do you think about adding Swerve to you guys' group? Because we're gonna, Swerve was going heel at the time. They were gonna try to make us heel too. So we're like, oh, cool, let's add Swerve. But me being the only girl in it, I kind of loved it because it was giving me like okay, I knew my role in it, and the role that I won, I was like, oh, this is perfect. Like it's going to be the businesswoman. It's going to be the one who keeps everybody's head level. It's going to be the one who goes and makes the deals. It's going to be the one who, if you need, a sexy front woman to go and make everybody feel comfortable, it's going to be me, then I'm going to be the one coming in from the back. If anything gets crazy, there's a chick who thinks she's going to get involved. I can handle that. Like it was just perfect. I really loved it. I had no worries or anything being the only woman in the group because I felt like the way we looked together, because Hitmakers had already looked great with just the 3 of us, and then adding, Swerve, it was like, okay, boom, now we're a clan. It was perfect. I loved it.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's legit. Because even now, where you guys are on the independent scene right now, it clicks.
yes.
It clicks and it works. So I'm gonna be honest with you.
What's up?
I wasn't a fan in the beginning. I said it
I'm
on the
glad.
pod.
I'm glad he's honest.
Yeah.
No. I think I heard you speak of not really being a fan too. I
Yeah,
think I heard
yeah.
of that
I
too.
wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan.
We
It took
wasn't.
me a minute to understand what was going on, right?
Uh-huh.
But I wasn't the only one. And did you hear other people, especially people that talking about they ain't fans of it? And how did you deal with that? So it's a two-part
Yes.
question real quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, we didn't care. Like, even we really didn't care because we knew what we were doing was authentic. We knew it was raw. We knew it was had never been done in WWE. We knew that it was something that WWE needed, and we knew that, we were going to eventually win people over once they saw us more. Because, yeah, I mean, how can you attach to something that you're only really getting like a minute or two of, every week or whatever, every other? That's hard for you to attach.
Yeah.
You have to really have us there in front of you to be like, oh, okay, I really get it, or have us do stuff. That's why when we got into like the Legato feud, everybody was like, oh, this is the dopest thing, because everybody got to see truly everybody's role in our group and how we do things. So I think once everybody saw this in the storyline, they understood it. But in the beginning, I think everybody's whole thing was, oh, they're gonna make them like a corny gimmick soon. Like everybody was waiting for us to be that next corny gimmick because of the history of these types of groups being put together and what they normally do. So I think everybody was like, oh, this is going to be another one, like they're not going to let them be real. But once they let us, we were writing our own stuff. We wrote everything ourselves. Once they gave us that freedom to really just put ourselves in the character and put ourselves in Hit Row, that's when I really felt like people really fully understood what was going on.
I'll be real. From my standpoint, watching Hit Row, I felt that this is from me, a fan looking outside, looking in. It was just like, y'all didn't have chance to let the food marinate. You know what I'm saying? Y'all was like lasagna. The first night, it's just like some people might say, "Oh, it was good." This, that, and third. But the second and third night,
Oh, that's pasta.
you like,
Yeah, that's pasta.
you you taste everything. That's
Exactly.
why I felt that when y'all got into that, like y'all mentioned, I felt that weekly into that, you really got into. I was just like, all right, it probably backstage they're hanging out, but I felt this is me just watching it. Once I hit that feud, I felt that that's when the company trusts y'all, really let y'all going. And then y'all was going, I was like, ooh, I can't wait. Y'all get called up, and then you got your walking pace. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then everyone else got let go. I'm looking like, y'all need this. Y'all
Yes.
created this brand through y'all. It was nothing outside.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So before we get to that part, there was a part where y'all were on NXT doing a BET cipher. I don't think you remember that day. I don't know if you remember that when all four of y'all were doing a rap concert on NXT.
First of all, that was gangster as fuck.
Like, I was like, this is probably the blackest moment.
Blackest thing.
Yes.
The Jagged Edge being on SmackDown.
Yes.
Second to that, can you tell us this? Because you did mention that you guys were writing your own stuff. So can you tell us the story of how that came about to be that segment of you guys rapping on NXT?
Well, they wanted us to they hit us up, super late. And they were just like, we're thinking about maybe doing a cipher. So they really didn't know, like, what a cipher was.
What a cipher was?
I think that somebody showed them some videos of what it was in a meeting.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, let's have them do this. Okay, so like if you're really gonna do a cipher, like it kind of takes a little bit of preparation. You can't just go and stamp this out. You got to get a good location. You got to do all this stuff. And we're telling them like, look, there's like a garage, close to us. We should go smoke the garage out. Make the garage look kind of like cool feel and like do it there. And they were like, no, we want to do it in house, like live. And I'm like, y'all don't get it. Like, that's not how a cipher like works. It's like another location, and then you can like film it into where you're at. That's what makes it a cipher, They're like, no, like we want it live. We're like, all right, like, so okay, we'll just work it out. So we ended up making the cipher live anyways. So we helped them get everything set up as far as like, needing the DJ on the stage with us, having something for Tahuti and like how it would work as far as how the mics would go and things like that. And then they want us to perform our song right after that. So we were like, okay, we wanted to pre-record some of it and then do the song after and come out on stage and do the song after. But they're like, no, we want it all live. So
Ooh, that was fire.
no, and it turned out really awesome. So we kind of felt like, okay, this might be a test. They want to see if we really can do this. So we're like, all right, whatever, let's do it live. Let's knock it out. So we got the beats, we got what we were gonna do in literally a night. Ended up having to go and do it like that following day. So I think we got everything Sunday night, Monday-ish, and then Tuesday we had to be ready to go with that and the performance. So, and you guys know, like when you're live, if anybody messes up, if anybody would have messed up at all, if anybody would have like skipped anything on their any part of the cipher or the performance, the whole thing would have been shot.
Yeah.
Like that moment was such an important moment for us because that was the moment that we really had to kill. Like if we didn't kill that moment, all of Hit Row and everything that we had done up in that moment would have been killed. Everything. So yeah, it was just a huge moment for us to go out there and kill everything. And of course we tore the house down with it. But yeah, it was the first thing of its kind. And then I was so excited that we were able to bring that to NXT. But yeah, they really didn't know what it really was. Like really what a
Yeah,
cipher
because
was.
it was more of a concert than a
It was
cipher.
exactly. It was a
It
concert
was
because we were like,
weird.
if you would have had us do it how we want to do it, like, look, we can go to this garage, we can like bring the fog machines, make it all cool. You know, us come out, we'll be in all black or whatever. We wanted to have a bunch of people behind us in all Hit Row merchandise, like in all the Hit Row shirts, and then like with hoodies on, like all blacked out, and then us come out, you know, with in our bright colors or whatever, and just come out rapping and you know stepping up to the camera as each person rap. That's what our original idea was.
Like a cipher.
Like a real
Like
cipher.
Like a
like did
cipher.
anyone not just say, listen, watch the hip hop BET Awards. This is what the example is. Like no one gave
No, they
a
did. They were
blueprint.
showed examples of videos in the meeting because the guy whose idea it was before he brought it to us showed them videos of what it was, and they sort of like, no, we want it live.
Oh,
We want it live. So that
Um,
right there, that I was just like, all right, well, we're gonna kill it. We'll do it, but you're missing the point right
the
now.
point, right?
you know what's funny? I remember watching it live, and Black wrestling Twitter's going off. Like, oh shit, this is fly. Like, we have a Facebook group. They're going off. They're going, oh, this is crazy. This is dope. But I felt like the crowd there didn't know what was going on. It was like, yo,
No, they didn't.
Because
Wow.
it translated on TV. Because like we're all hyped and we're all like
Yeah.
going like,
Yes.
oh shit.
Yes.
But them there in Orlando was just like, what's this? Like
They had no clue what it was. So, but like they were hype at the end once they got to the performance part, the song, because they knew the song. So they're like, oh yeah, now you know we know that song. We can bop to this. It's cool. But everything else, it was kind of like they did not know what it was. And I knew that was going to happen, and we knew that was going to happen. That's why we wanted to have that one pre-recorded, you know, and then just do the song part because we were like, they're going to know the song, they're going to be lit for the song, but they're not going to be lit for the cipher. And it's all beats that they don't even know. You know what I'm saying? So the whole thing was just crazy. And you're used to giving them wrestling and or promos from wrestlers. Now you're giving them a hip hop product in the middle of the show.
nah.
So luckily for us, they had the right
do.
people to do it, but not a lot of people could have been able to make that moment what we created. Honestly, like
How was working with Triple H? Because I hear a lot of good stories about Papa Trips in the NXT Black and Gold. There's rumors that he was like a real advocate for you guys as a team. Can you talk a little bit about working with Trips and, you know, the whole time that you guys were in the Black and Gold NXT?
Yo, working with Triple H is amazing. Like, shout out to him. I'm so glad that he's better and, you know, he's all recovered because, like, he's amazing, really. He truly cares about the product. He truly cares about each gimmick and, like, each character that is being portrayed on his show. He wants to be involved, you know, like, even though we were writing our own stuff, as far as the setup and what we were doing, that was all his idea.
Really?
And I liked the stuff that, like, if we brought ideas, instead of just being like, no, we can't use that, he always told us why. He always told us why it wouldn't work right now, why we could possibly use the idea in the future. So that's always a huge, and you can go to him. Like every week when we had TV, he's sitting right there in the corner. Like you can go and talk to him. He's walking around doing stuff, you know, as long as you know you're not bothering him or whatever. He's right there to talk to him and Shawn Michaels both. So I just love the super accessibility that you had to them and how he was always open to tell you the truth, be honest with you, and give you straight up, you know, knowledge on what you could do better in the future, why it didn't work. Like he's just always super open, and like I loved working with him. I truly did.
Were you able to work with Norman Smiley as well?
Norman was my coach. Shout out to Norman. Norman trained me. Norman was my trainer. He was like the guy who gave me all the secret sauce. I love that man to death. Like he is so amazing. Like I learned so many wonderful things from Norman. I miss him to this day. We text every now and then, but yeah, I miss that man so much. I miss all the nuggets he would give me like every single
What's
day.
something that what's in a piece of advice that really stuck out at you? Because that's like when I found out he was working and he was coaching, like people don't give him the flowers he deserves. And we were on a previous, we actually did an interview previously, and they asked us like during Black History Month, what's a Black wrestler that you know you want to acknowledge? And I said Norman Smiley because I grew up like watching WCW and seeing him being the character he was true to it, he worked it. So what's one like hidden gem that he gave you that sticks out to you to this day?
He always told me that like with wrestling, it's a trade. So he's like, you know, the good thing about learning wrestling is you get to learn it from the top notch people now, and it's a trade. You can take it with you. You can wrestle anywhere now. It's like knowing how to work on cars. Once you know how to work on a car, you can go anywhere and use your services to work on people's cars and make money. So it's like he always told me that with wrestling, it's the same thing. He said, it doesn't matter where you're training, what you're doing. Luckily for you right now, you get to learn it from the best, and you always have this ability to go take it with you and be able to perform anywhere. So I was like, man, I'd never thought about that. So that was huge.
Yeah. Never thought about that either.
Yeah.
So you guys killing NXT. You guys have that dope feud with dope. I always pronounce them wrong.
Legado.
You guys have a dope run. Swerve gets becomes NXT North American champion, and then you get called up.
Yeah.
Tell us the story of finding out that you're going.
Walk us through it. Walk us through the whole event.
We really didn't know that we were getting called up for sure or not. We knew the draft was coming up, and we wanted to be a part of it. And, you know, we were ready, you know, like we're like, man, we know that this is a great act. We know Hit Row is loved by everybody. It's just going to keep growing. We're ready to go to SmackDown. So what it was, we got invited to the draft. So they invited everybody who was getting drafted or was going to get drafted, but they kayfabed everybody. Nobody knew anything about if they were getting.
Snap.
Yeah, nobody knew. So you just had to be there. So we go there. It was Friday, and we were walking around. It's in Baltimore. We're excited. We're like, man, this is crazy. Like we didn't know anything though. So all night, everyone's like, people were some like, oh, welcome to the team. Other people were like, oh, what do you think? Good luck. And the next person's like, oh, you know, so happy to have you. So like all night, everybody's telling us mixed stuff. We don't know whether we're staying, going, what's happening. So we're like, okay, we're getting kayfabe. So we're walking in the hallway. We just got done taking some pictures, and we saw Bruce Pritchard, and he was like, oh, hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the team. Next week, we're going to get a writing team that's going to be designated to you guys. Can't wait to work with you. And we were like, sir, like, we don't know anything. So like, we're going to be on SmackDown. He's like, oh yeah, you guys are going to be in a SmackDown. Welcome. We stayed cool, calm right there. We shook his hand. Oh, thank you. We're excited. We all ran around the corner, jumped on each other. It's like, oh my God, like we made, like we're going to SmackDown, bro. Like it's happening, dude. We was like almost in tears. We was shaking. It was a crazy moment, man. Like we just all hugged each other, was jumping around together. It was a crazy, amazing moment. It was like all the hard work had paid off, and like everything that we knew as far as what Hit Row was going to bring to WWE was about to happen.
So it prematurely the situation happens where the release happens.
Yeah.
How did you react to that? Were you surprised? Did you see it coming? Was there some type of writing on the wall to kind of like prepare you for the situation?
There was nothing. There was nothing at all. I never thought that it would happen ever. Like even when people on Twitter were like, "Oh gosh, when they get called up, they're gonna get released," but I never thought in a million years, I was like, "There's no way this is happening." I think this is one of the first acts that you don't have to put your hands on, and it makes you money. You know, like we didn't really need them to do too much for us besides give us the platform. You know, just give us a platform. We're not going to say any, slick stuff that you can't understand, to say the inappropriate things on TV. We were cool. We didn't. All we needed you to do was give us a storyline who you wanted us to feud with, and we were going to do the rest. So I was like, "There's no way this is going to happen." So yeah, whenever I got released, I was shocked. I was super shocked. Like I really couldn't believe it was happening. But on the same breath, me being a person of like I always give 1,000% and I leave nothing with any regrets. So like if I do something, I give it my all. So if anything happens or I have to walk away, I don't have any shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Oh, I could have did this better or did that. I never have that. So I always go hard. So whenever that happened for me, I kind of was like, okay, thank you for your time, and just hung my phone up because I was like, if this is how you're gonna do business and this is how you're gonna have it go down, and if this is what you want, and you guys have it and enjoy, because I don't want to be a part of something that's like that. If I know that I'm an amazing product and I do everything I do, and there's not many people who are on my caliber as hard as I work and what I bring, then I was like, I'm cool. I was just like, all right, there's nothing I can
Do you
do. I'm cool.
do you think that the doors closed completely? Because once again, we always hear that it's budget, it's this, it's that, it's we don't have nothing creative for them. It's all these things that
Yeah,
it can be true to it, and it can also be bullshit too. It could be a mixture of things. But do you
yeah.
feel like you guys will ever be able to, like, if the opportunity rose again, would that be something you guys would go back to?
Oh, for sure. I mean, and we'd be going back because I want to give everybody the product that they wanted. I wanted
Mm.
everybody to see everything that we're capable of. That would be, my reasoning for going back would be just to give the fans what they deserve and what they wanted and what we are, on our way to becoming and who we are anyways, for our culture and for everybody. So that would be my main reasoning for going back would be for that. And I mean, I feel like the door for WWE is always open. I mean, you just saw Cody Rhodes go back after the whole
six
ride that
years
went
and
on. I mean, and everything that was
started a
said and
whole
done and all the,
company.
the jabs they took at each other and all these things, and he still ended up back there. So yeah, I feel like the door is always open for them. It's just about when, timing, and if.
Nah, that's I respect how you handle it. That's
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
me
biggest
too.
thing. Because it seems like you didn't get bitter. You didn't say nothing foul online. You're just like, yo, all right, peace. I'm gonna work and do what I gotta do. And now that you're working, you're on the independent scene. You're building your brand. How is it being on the independent scene? Because I don't think you were ever on the independent scene before
I wasn't.
WWE. This is post WWE. How has that been for you?
It's been rewarding, honestly, because there you get to be hand to hand with all the fans. So that's one thing I get to
Mhm.
see how our impact of the group and what we do really impacts the fans and how they really appreciate it. So being on the indies, it's nice to see these people now. You get to hear it or see it online or whatever, but now you get to see the faces of the people who actually really support you and really love the act. So being on the indies, it's fun because you get to really see people and give them what they want hand to hand, and they can meet you now. So yeah, it's just been a different experience for me because, like you said, I've never done it before.
What's the so you get released, whatever, you're like, all right, let's get to work, Brandon, all of this, let's do my shit. And the homies get released.
Yeah,
What's that phone call? Like,
I was shocked. Like I was really shocked because I felt like they were gonna try to do something like the Shield or like a New Day thing with them, keeping it the three boys, three men thing. But when that happened, I was like, whoa, yo, like what's going on? I didn't understand. I didn't know like why it even happened. I was just really blown away. Honestly, we were all just, and they were super shocked. We all just were shocked about just the whole thing that happened. Like you guys saw, like we went from the top of NXT, like the top draft pick, Fox wanted us, like everything, to just like boom,
Wait,
everything
wait, wait, wait,
changed.
wait, 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 wait. Let's rewind that. I love how you just be saying
Yeah,
things. And just
yeah.
going off.
You just
You saw
slide
them
it in.
seeds?
You
You
capture, you
saw
capture.
you saw
Hold on.
that? I was like, ooh. She said the
So you
FOX
said that
wanted
Fox
her.
wanted you guys?
Like it was a thing of us getting caught up. It was a combination of like, Fox really liking what we were doing. Fox liked Hit Row as well. So for them being a part of the draft and us ending up on Fox's brand, which was the perfect place for us, they were like the new fresh
Raw wasn't
thing,
gonna hit for y'all.
No.
No, that
So
I wasn't gonna hit.
so I was like, okay, then this is gonna really work out. So yeah, I mean, there was talk about Fox really being interested in our group, and they were already writing stuff about Hit Row that they thought we were the next greatest thing. So it made sense for us to end up on their brand as well.
That's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Big shout outs to you guys. Round of applause for that. Like
Yeah,
Yeah.
to have such
facts.
a big corporation wanting you guys involved in their product. That's
Yeah.
absolutely dope. So you spoke about it. You guys are surprised. Y'all get into the war room. You're like, I bet we all got released. What we doing? How was that? Tell us that story behind that conversation between y'all.
Yeah, what kept you guys actually together? Because like you
Yeah.
guys individually are talented, you guys can hold your own. But what essentially kept you guys like, all right, listen, now we all out together. Let's do this together. Like what kind of made that kind of click for you guys?
Well, I mean, we're all still cool. Like everything you saw as far as how we interact on TV and how we were, it was a natural thing. We never had to like, oh man, make ourselves like each other or whatever. Like, no, when we really kicked it, like we hung. Like that's just how we were, like how we're all four talking right now was just really fluid like that all the time. So it was nothing for us to stay together at all. And like truly we know that this act that we have is the act that wrestling needs. Like it's an act that is really different and needs to be portrayed in this light. I mean, right now, everything with hip hop and it's such a huge thing, and it's not really portrayed in a bunch of different acts how it could be, so then you have everybody who does music with this. So it's just a perfect act, is a perfect thing, and I feel like people really love it and it needs to be put out there, period.
So, what advice would you have, through your journey, through your whole life journey that, hey, I'm somebody that who want to get WWE as a black person. What advice do you have for people like us?
um I would just say, like I always tell everybody, just stay in your lane and know why you're there and just do you, and don't like shadow away from what you want to portray, what makes you you, just always bring that to the table. Like when I came out, automatically was like, okay, I'm gonna do hip hop music. I'm gonna be a hip hop artist, with my character. I'm gonna have this swag. I'm gonna dress like this. Like I didn't want to wear gear like everybody else. I wanted to stay true to who I was because for me, my character was I'm a fighter. I'm a hood chick. I'm a musician from the streets. I'm not trying to be a wrestler. I know I did not come from the indies. I'm not trying to say I did. What I'm saying is I will fight you, but if you want to fight in a ring, we can do it in the ring. But if you want to go down the street, we can fight too there. Like that's what my whole character was. It was like that's why her look was different. That's why she never wore gear like everybody else. That's why she never looked like all the other girls
That makes
because she
sense.
wasn't. I wasn't trying to say I was from your world. I was saying I could come to your world and do the same thing that I do were in my world.
That's a bar, low key. Uh did you guys ever feel pressure in terms of being like you guys representing the culture, because that
Mm.
actually is heavy in its sense. Like even like for us being an all black podcast, us always promoting black excellence, like there are pressures in that from the outside and how you
And
guys
inside
represent you
too.
and inside too, but and representing the culture. So did you guys ever feel that or have those kind of conversations of like, okay, how do we want to represent our culture, and how do we make sure that we not only do that but also have that balance mentally and physically and stuff like that, because all that plays a part.
Yeah. our whole thing was we just don't want to be corny. We're not going to let them make us corny. Like that was the thing. Every single time we got any idea brought to us, anything like that, we were just like, we're not making this corny. This has to stay authentic. And it was good because Triple H also wanted the same thing. He was like, no, I have to keep this authentic. I have to keep this, you guys. I have to keep this your feel, your vibe. So it was cool because he, like, even if you bring some idea to someone, when it comes dealing with cultures and all these things, you don't know if that is corny to them. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might be cool to them. They might be like, man, this is a great idea. I love it. And then you bring in this like, dog, that's corny. But like, you're not gonna know if you're not on the
you don't try.
Exactly. So I get it. So we always are open to and worked with him. And Triple H was huge on that with us. Like, he always wanted to make sure, like, okay, you guys cool with this? Like, this, that, like, he always checked with us and everything. So there was really no pressure to, like, represent because Triple H didn't want us to be that way, and he wanted us to be authentic, and we wanted to be authentic too. So as long as we were able to be ourselves, which is authentic, then we were going to be good. So there was really no super pressure. And I was really grateful that he always asked us, like, okay, what do you think about this? How would this be portrayed? What do you think about that? Even when we were dealing with Legado, because even for them and the Mexican culture and the Mexican heritage, we didn't want any of their things to come out wrong or anything that we said to them to be portrayed wrong to their people as well. So there was a couple of layers going on when we were in that feud as well. And Triple H respected both sides and always wanted everybody to be comfortable in their own representation.
Can you talk a little bit about that feud? You said there was different layers in that.
Yeah, so here example, whenever we were doing the burning of the mask and whenever he took Swerve's grill, just things like that where things, okay, is this okay? Okay, what do you think about us taking the grill? Like just things like that. They wanted to always make sure that they were done tastefully and done in a way that it could be portrayed in a storyline, but not disrespectful.
Nice. I like that. That's
a growth.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
And it tells a test of time because if you guys with Hit Row and Legado were feuding in the 90s, like how Nation and DOA was and Los Boricuas, that was a total different time. And I bet you no one was asking, is this okay?
No. And even my role in the group, Triple H was like, hey, this is y'all queen. You need to treat her like that. Remember the matches? He did. I'm telling you, shout out to Triple H, man. This man. I'm telling you, he was like, Bree is y'all queen. She is it. Y'all need to treat her like that. Whenever we had those poses, remember the one pose where the boys got down on their knees and I sat on their knees?
Yeah.
That was Triple H's idea. He wanted us to come up with a bunch of different poses like that can create iconic looking photos and that can portray me being the queen and the centerpiece of the whole thing. He knew that. The boys are doing all the wrestling and all that stuff, but he knew that my piece was very, very important and he wanted the boys to know that.
Wow.
Damn, I
that just warms my heart about Trips even more.
Yeah, that was dope. Wow. Thank you for sharing that tidbit about him because I feel sometimes he doesn't get the best rap. You know how the internet talks and stuff. But throughout this interview, you've been showing a side of him that makes you understand how he understands what wrestling is and how to bring culture to wrestling.
Yeah, he cares so much, he cares so much about every single piece that went on with his show. He truly cared. And even with Scarlett and Carrie and their whole gimmick, that was all Triple H's idea. The way that they did things and how they came together with all that was all him. And he's there every moment and every camera shot, every scene like this. I want that like that. I want the light to be here. He's so in depth with everything that he does, and he just cares so much. And I really respected him so deeply just by how he always wanted to make sure we were comfortable and how he always made sure that everybody played their piece and how he understood all the pieces of our group.
I got a question because, I've been watching NXT Black and Gold. You are part of the Black and Gold brand. And for some reason why during that time it was always like, all right, y'all was all the NXT ladder call ups was like on like Triple H did y'all right, the lighting, everything, and then when you guys get on the main roster, it's just like, so I play for a good value orange juice, but I want a Tropicana. Like, yeah, I feel like it's such a huge disconnect. So my question is to you is, why was such a big disconnect from the black and gold den onto the main roster?
I feel like some of that comes from lack of communication because this is a $1 billion company. There's a lot of different branches, a lot of different people who work for this company. So it's kind of hard to keep communication with everybody and what they bring, what they offer, how they work. It's hard to do that. So I feel like there was no time for the main roster and the people there to fully understand our group, to know exactly how to portray us in the right way. Because, mind you, we were in the performance center too. So they kind of got to see us do practice matches, practice intros or whatever. So they kind of saw us there too. And then we went to TV. So they kind of had two ways to get to know us before they pushed us fully. So the main roster, you really don't have that. And they're just taking that product and just moving it the way that they think that they should be moving it. They don't take that time to like learn, the whole character and everything. Because if the communication, I feel the communication would have been there, and if you would have like known how people were in the performance center, I would have never been fired. Like, because right, you can ask anybody down to the person who takes the trash out of the ladies' bathroom in that performance center who Briana Brandy is, and they would tell you that I'm like the coolest, like most helpful, everything. You know what I'm saying? I work the hardest. I'm always there first, leaving last. I'll put in the extra time. I was doing triple and extra classes to learn wrestling faster. Like, that was me. So I feel like a lot of the times with these big companies, it's the disconnect in communication from the top and the bottom and the other, parts of the company and things like that.
Honestly. Now it makes sense. They thought you were crack, but you're pure coke, and they were moving you right.
Ooh,
that's exactly moving us. For real. I mean, you saw, and I love the boys and everything, but the fact, like, I was trending, like when I got released, I was trending, and then the following week, when the boys were on TV, I was trending. So it's like everybody's like, "Oh, bring B-Fab back. It's not the same without her." So like even the fans knowing, everybody knowing that the group didn't have the same feel without me, even those small things like that, you would have known if you were in the PC watching us, if you were on NXT seeing us all the time or seeing how we are and how we interact. These are things you would have known that you wouldn't have done on the main roster if you would have known everything.
It kind of goes back to what Triple H said, like, yo, this is your queen. You need her here, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think they understood how much of it's like chess. The most valuable piece on the chessboard is the queen. Mm-hmm. And you were that valuable piece, and you gone. Granted, the guys are super talented, but it was missing.
It literally didn't hit the same. Like, it literally was like soldiers without their captain, and it was weird because it was like, once again, not taking away from each of their individual talent and what they bring to the table, but it's a group. And when you lose one piece of the group, that's like with us. If I'm not on the show, then everybody's like, this is weird. And if they have somebody else on, like, and it's with any one of us. Like, if this one, like, any one of us is gone, something's off. So like, you gotta kind of understand what it means for a group to be a group, to understand when you remove a piece of a foundation, it's gonna have all those cracks involved. And that's really, to be honest, was the beginning of the end. When they let you go, it was like, okay, what are we doing here? Because I signed up for Hit Row. I didn't sign up for Hit. Like, it just was that. But I mean, you guys being, positive about your future and what you guys got going on. So talk a little bit about what's next for you guys. What's next for Hit Makers? What's next for you, whether it's in the ring or musically? Like, what's on the next, like, 3 to 6 months? What do we got going on?
When's the album dropping?
Well, I'm doing a bunch of singles. I like to release singles before I drop like an EP or an album, because I just feel like singles are better for people to take in and enjoy. But the hit makers are going to be doing shows everywhere. You know, anytime there's a show available, anybody wants to book hit makers are always going to be doing that for sure. For me, I'm just going to be doing a lot of releases, trying to do a lot of different shows, just getting a lot of different connections, just getting back into music, trying to see where everything is at now and getting back in that playing field, of course. Like I said, I'm just doing a lot of different things. Like I have my OnlyFans. I just do
Oh,
everything. I
yeah,
do
we know.
How's
TikToks. I do
how's
all of
that
that.
been for you?
It's been amazing, honestly. Like it's been so cool and so easy. Like
You see
people
a
are
smile on
cool
her
for
face?
real.
She said, "Yo, it's been amazing."
It's been amazing
Cause,
and it's been
'Cause
cool.
she's like, guess what, guys? Right now, I'm making money still, so it's okay.
It's real. I'm like, hey,
Like I
I'm
don't gotta
cool.
be on, and
I'm
I'm
like,
still making some coins.
hey, I gotta do what I gotta do, or I gotta make the money, man. And it's just like it's been so cool, and it's funny because a lot of people on there just want to support me. They just want to hear my music early. They want to, see pictures of me. They just want to support in general. Like everyone's like, we don't care what you do on here. We just want to support you. So I have a lot of people on there that are like that. So it's really cool. It's just amazing
Congratulations
to
on that.
see. Thanks.
Congratulations!
No,
Wow.
Thanks.
that's so dope.
All
Cause
the
it comes
support
full
I have has
circle.
just been amazing. Like I love my fans so much. That's why I always make sure I interact with them as much as I can because these people truly support just me. They just like my vibe. They like who I am. They just like what I bring to the table, my funny stuff that I do on TikTok or whatever. So they just connect with me. So I just like to connect with them.
That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. It's great to see you still working and still building on every aspect of your career, the music, the wrestling, the brand in general. Like seeing you guys at was it Wrestle? Is WrestleCade, right? No, WrestleCon.
WrestleCon. Yeah.
WrestleCon. Mm-hmm.
During Mania weekend, it was like you guys are still busy.
Yeah.
First
Yeah.
of all, they and I had when I walked past, we walked past the table. Me and Danny, I told him I was like, I appreciate you guys being the only table with speakers and playing your music, and just on a marketing and advertising sense, because that's where my brain always goes. It's like this is what you're supposed to be doing. Like
Exactly.
like yes, the E gave you guys that kind of like platform to kind of get everybody like, who are you? Now that everybody knows, now you guys got to build upon that. So seeing you guys out and being able to interact with fans, being able to still support and put out your music. Like, I think it's always going to be dope to like life after wrestling. It's a real thing. And I think you guys
Exactly.
are setting yourselves up really good for that.
Thank
I
you.
know
I
we're
think
about
that's a
to end
huge
soon,
thing
but I want
too.
to
Like,
bring up
oh,
bring up something that you said in the beginning. You said you were a huge fan of
mm-hmm.
China,
Yes.
and in many ways, you replicated what she did for DX with your current
Yes.
group.
Yes. I
Because
know.
like we said it about a few minutes ago, without you, your presence was missed. Like China was a presence in DX, and you were a present in Hit Row. Like you were like they needed you there. Not once again, not taking anything away from them, but your presence was so significant. So I
Yeah.
want you to understand that you did your thing, and you lived up to, and you were replicating one of your heroes. To
Dude,
say,
and it's crazy to say that because the thing that blew my mind too when I would work with Triple H and Shawn Michaels down there is they would say that they were like, yeah, this is what we would do with China. Yeah, this is what we did with China. Oh, this is how we would do it. We treat China
Whoa.
like that. I'm like that would just it was so crazy to see all the connections just come together in life and just like I used to watch we used to be like 15 of us on the sun porch of my grandfather's house with me. I'm the only one out, only girl, and it's all my uncles out there and their friends. And the TV was like this big, and we're all trying to watch, and I see China on there with the guys. So like just to be the only girl in the room that became a wrestler
Mm-hmm.
out of all these boys who were fans. And now I'm actually in a group to where Triple H and Shawn Michaels are standing here telling me that this is what they did with China, or this is how they treated China. Or, yeah, remember we did this with China. Like that just used to blow my mind when they would say stuff like that to me. And she was my favorite. So RIP
Wow.
again.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite rappers? Top five. No particular order.
Top five. Ooh, I listen to so much, so that's really hard to do. Because I really go off of feel and vibe so much, like when I hear stuff. So I just listen to like Rap Caviar on my Spotify, and then whoever's like got me bopping or whatever, I'm like, oh, who is this? Oh, like. So that's really how I do music. Like, that's why I'm excited to be back in it, because I want to mix different genres, like with rock and like I've even done a country song in the past. Like, so my
Ooh,
my
really?
yeah my category and just like how many different genres of style of music I can do is like just so long. It's just so much. Like I want to do everything. So I can't really give you a top five because when it comes to hip hop and like I just like all of it so much that I just like vibe to whoever's the hottest. Like right now I like um Joyner Lucas, he's really hot. Love that. Like,
Ooh,
oh my
Yeah,
gosh. I
he's
can
he's
listen to
different.
him.
He different. He different.
Yeah. Yeah. And then I can't even tell you like all the names. Like Fivo Foreign, I think
oh
I
oh,
like him too.
bruh, his last album, fire,
Yeah.
fire.
Mhm. Yeah, and then it's like then I like the baby. I like him. I just like the way he
Mm.
flows. I think I love his whole vibe and how he just doesn't care. I like that. So yeah, it's really hard to say who I listen to. Honestly, I just vibe to anything that makes me feel good.
Yeah,
So who would you like? So who would you like to collaborate with now? Now that
Good
you're
question,
getting back
Janelle.
in the music, who is that one person you're like, listen, all right, if I hit the studio, I kind of this is who I want to vibe with.
I would love to vibe with hmm, I do like Lil Baby. I like the way his like consciousness on his songs, like just the way he does stuff. I like him a lot, for real.
that's who
And
doesn't
Joyner
like him.
Lucas,
He's
I would
top
love to
five right now.
collab with him. I would love to collab with him. He's fire.
I
So
think you and Joyner would probably do something dope, especially the fact
Yeah.
that Joyner's like 100% independent for the most part, and he
hmm
could probably put you on some more game on like blowing up your independent music shit. But
yeah.
Joyner's a
Mm-hmm.
storyteller, straight up,
Yeah.
and Lil Baby
Fire.
is just
Fire.
His
got
little
it.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then honestly, I like people talk stuff about her, but I like Coyle Ray, man. Like she's done her own thing. Her dad is like someone who's, she could be using his name or whatever, and she went her own path. Like she needs to be respected for that. Like she's trying to go her own way, her own route. Everybody doesn't like all her music and stuff, but she does like her songs and tracks. They're fun. Kids like them. It's like it's a fun kind of feel. Like she got a new song with Nicki Minaj. I can't even tell you what this hook is, but like it just sounds fun. It's just weird.
Now she's doing her thing. She's really coming up.
Yeah,
Coming up. You mentioned some good people. I hopefully you can
Facts.
work with these people. You have
Facts.
talent,
yeah,
Facts.
so
Put it out
hopefully
there.
my fingers are crossed for you that
yes,
this happens for you. Anything else,
for
Dan?
sure. I want
Yeah,
to
I was
do
gonna
it
say, you guys
Anything.
all.
have any other? I
Uh,
would I would say, if you like dream match, who do you want to wrestle?
oh, Charlotte Flair.
Oh, that would have been on SmackDown.
Charlotte Flair. Yeah,
Fuck, they
like
fucked it up.
Charlotte is
I could just
amazing. I
I could just
really
imagine the
I like her
storyline.
vibe, man. Like me and her always vibe. She's super cool. Like I don't know why people think that she's whatever, but Charlotte is dope. Like she's just to herself. She loves the business. She knows why she's there. She does her job and she kills it. And that's what it's really about. Like people think that this thing is all about, oh, let me be cool with this person or friends. Like if we could just kill all that and just do why the reason why we came, kill the job and why we are all here, we'd all be a lot further. Because it's like whenever we're all worried about, oh, what's this person doing, or what, it's like, do you like why are you here though? So it's like if we all could do that more, we'd be a lot further. And she does that to the max, and that's why she's the top and she's the best. You know.
Well,
Sick.
you guys heard it first. We listen. We got to make sure that happens somehow, some way. Cause y'all about almost the same height. Y'all like
Yeah,
y'all can.
yeah.
I can totally see the lockup being solid at first. Like
Oh, that
now, I
match
can
would be
envision it.
crazy because she has a level of intensity like when she wrestles that people have, but her, I mean, it just comes from a different place with her sometimes. Like she just finds this animal, and then you don't know, what's shooting, what's not with her sometimes, and that's what I think that essence I love so much in her matches.
The
I fucks with
mystique.
it. I fucks with it. Yo, thank you for coming on. I know you're a
Thank
busy
you.
For
woman.
sure.
You
Thank
Yes.
you
you.
out here
Yeah, thanks
This
In
for
is
having me.
Colombia,
cool.
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, I'm about to
What
go.
made you move there? Like, how did you get there? Real quick before we go.
I was living here before I got signed. So I actually signed my contract and they flew me in for my medicals from Colombia. Yeah, one of my friends that we met in the Dominican Republic was like, dude, if y'all like Colombia is amazing, y'all gotta check it out. Da da da. So we just went to Colombia and we're like, all right, let's go check it out. And we loved it, so we decided to come back here after.
On
Nice.
the whim.
Wow.
Yeah, on the whim.
And you don't feel
Wow.
like you feel safe. You don't feel like you about to get taken. None of that.
No. I stay in Cartagena, so Cartagena is very like
Okay,
safe. It's like
yeah.
It's not. It's a Colombian tourist spot. It's not like super touristy for like Americans. So Americans come, of course, but it's super touristy for Colombians. Like it's a Colombian tourist spot. So
Okay,
it's
that's
super
what
safe
you're
here. It's super safe.
Okay, good, guys. We gotta go to Colombia. So
Yeah,
that's gonna be what it's gonna be.
Come
I
on.
might not come back. I don't know, B.
Hey, it's only 2 hours from Miami, so I mean it's not far. It's like I live in Miami.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Something to think of. Okay. Well, all right.
2 hour
Thank
flight.
you so
Yeah.
much for joining us
Thanks for
on
having
this
me.
Sunday fun day. Let the viewers know where to find you on social media and where to find your music as well.
My music is available everywhere: Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, anywhere you can download music. My music is there, but you can find everything Briana Brandy in my link tree, which is on my bio on my Instagram, Briana_Brandy. Hit the link tree. It has everything Briana Brandy, from merch. I got t-shirts on there as well. Everything is available.
Let me go get my t-shirt. Let me go get
Yeah.
that.
They're sweet too.
See? Well, thank you again, and hopefully sometime this summer we can all link again. I think
August 20th.
Yes.
next time we need to do it in person with everybody.
That would be cool.
Yes.
I'm with that.
And then actually, so you know what? Actually, keep August 20th open, because then you know what we really should do is really do the real cipher and do it the right way.
Listen, tell her what it is. Listen, August 20th, we're having a wrestling event. JobberSlam 2, house party. So that will be a dope. Like, think about it. Y'all ciphering. That'll be a good halftime show. Janelle, come on, Janelle.
What do you mean? Come on, it's a team effort.
Listen,
we'll be in touch.
Yeah, please be in touch on that. That would be sick. Do it like a cipher performance or whatever, then maybe a match too.
Okay, listen, let's get off this before we give all the gems away.
I mean, prolific versus dumb. I'm just saying.
Yeah, stay off my mind, because that's exactly what I was thinking. But anyway, as always, I'm Janelle from HR here with Wilkins and Mr. Black, and of course with the beautiful Briana Brandy. Thank you so much for joining us, love. We wish you all the best, and anything how we can support you, always let us know, okay?
Thank you. I appreciate you guys for having me. You guys are all awesome. This has been amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. # Black Excellence. # we are.
I was over, got the hands in motion. If you go a rolling, no need to focus. Traveling states and over oceans. You gotta wait till your coast chosen. Trying to have lines outside the show like Harry Potter releases at Barnes & Noble.